Hey, I'm Saahil Karnik. I was the group leader for this project. So, my responsibilities for this project were handling the foundation questions with Leo. I learned a few details about parallel programming Raspberry Pi in this project. I'll apply the knowledge I've learned in in my future jobs, class. Like the list of places where I can apply this knowledge is endless. Uh, as a leader, it was a new experience handling everything, being responsible for most of the stuff. It was a nice experience.
My name is Dale Franks. I'm a senior attending GSU for a degree in computer science. My task for this assignment was to compile the questions from the parallel architecture programming skills and the lab report, and put them into the report and format them. From this assignment, I learned more important foundation material about parallel programming, and I've also gained experience programming a Raspberry Pi, and of course, writing reports. I think since this project was very interactive and hands-on, I'll be able to remember better what I learned in it and apply it to future classes, because it's easier to remember when it's really hands-on and you do it yourself. The biggest challenge for me was compiling the questions, because I'm not just spell checking, but I'm also trying to compile a couple different versions of different answers for questions into one version. So it requires me to know the material pretty well and realize when the question is really being answered the way that it should be.
Okay. Hi, my name is Benitez. I'm a computer science major. My task in this project was to answer the foundation questions. I also reset the task cards in GitHub. What I learned from this assignment was the different classification of parallel computing and the types of memory um, architectures, memory architectures in parallel computing. I believe I'm gonna utilize this information for my future classes and probably my future jobs, since parallel programming it's a growing field. I think the most challenging part of the project was actually managing my time between work and school. But I found the information very interesting, so I think that was the best part of it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Justin Lepiten, and I'm a computer science major at Georgia State. My task for this assignment was to essentially work with Emin and work on the parallel programming task lab report. I think the most difficult challenge for me was when we were working on the task, basically trying to attain a high understanding of the content in the task, because as me and Emin worked on it, it was kind of our responsibility to look at it, learn it, and apply it. There's no one telling us if we're right or wrong. There's nobody to guide us. We kind of just have to guide ourselves and be responsible. And I feel like ways that I can apply that in the future is with anything really. Like, for example, internships, jobs, you're going to have to learn things on your own. No one's gonna be telling you to give you a grade or anything. Like, you just have to learn on your own, and you need that self-motivation. So I'm definitely gonna be able to use that in the future.
Hello, my name is Oseriemen Ivbaze, and I'm a computer science major at Georgia State. And my task for this assignment was working on the parallel programming basics with Justin. And essentially the hardest part that I encountered was basically figuring out how threads worked with parallel computing, and finding out how parallel computing actually compares to sequential computing. And essentially what I can use this for in the workplace is applying these concepts to programming tasks that I may receive when I actually get a job that's related to parallel computing. And that's all for me.